In this video, we're going to talk about industrial or product design so that you can take hand sketches or even basic 3D models and visualize them in Envizia. Now, in this case, let's say that you're designing a men's watch, like a men's sports watch or an elegant watch, and you have either hand sketched a watch or you've created a model that you want to visualize. We're going to do 3D base to render because we've already set up in this particular case a model that would kind of like to have shading put to. So let's come over here and upload an image from our 3D application. So you can see I've just generated a 3D model, and now I've just generated from that this really basic sort of what we call clay shading or interactive type of rendering. This is enough for Envizia to work with. So we'll go ahead and load that up. And now we just want to give it a description. So let's come over and put our description in. An expensive men's watch, sharply reflective, brushed titanium metal. The watch face has a deep blue metallic radial, anisotropic reflection, and guilloche sunburst pattern. Studio lighting with warm rim light and cool primary light. Soft lighting. Light gray reflective cyclorama ground that fades to a black background. So you try and be very descriptive, and then you say generate. And there we go. So in one fell swoop, it kind of gave us something really good to begin working with. We could generate new views, or we could go in and perhaps change the materials, but I kind of like this. So let's look at another type of object. Let's say that we now want to take some sort of cooking ware. Let's say you're developing some pots and pans that you want to use for cooking and you'd like to visualize those. So we'll come up here to clear all and we'll do the same thing since in this particular case, I've developed 3D models and we want to just upload an image that I have taken of a cooking pot. So I've developed a 3D model, which helps me to be very careful about what it is that I'm setting up. Now, notice that what it doesn't show right here is that there's a glass covering. So I've modeled it so that I can see the actual geometry, but this doesn't actually show glass. And this is what's brilliant about the system, is that we can describe it and it's going to be smart enough to infer that. So then we just come in and we drop in our prompt, a stainless steel cooking pot with glass lid. The glass lid has a shiny reflective metallic handle. The body of the pot has a brushed metal appearance with cyclorama ground that's roughly reflective, studio lighting with 3-point lighting. So you can be very specific about what it is that you want, and then we come in and generate. And there we go. So you can see it was really smart about that glass covering. I think it did a really good job for just the very first thing to generate from that. So let's visualize another type of product, in this case a piece of furniture, a chair. We're going to clear all, and then let's come over here. And again, we could either use 3D base, or if you've got a hand sketch, you could also use the hand sketch in the sketch to render mode. But we'll come over here and take our 3D image. So you can see I've got a sketch version of it, and I've also got a 3D model version of it. Either would work as an input source. So let's come over now and just give it our prompt. A coffee shop chair, dark red wood, roughly reflective, leather seat on top of a laminated wood base, studio photography and white cyclorama backdrop, mix of warm and cool lighting. So you can see by using terms like cyclorama, I'm giving a very specific term that it'll understand for the kind of environment that I want it to be in. And then we generate. And there we go. So once you've gotten this done, and let's say that you really like this, but you want to generate some other views from it, and you maybe also want to test a different type of wood material, we can do that with the chat function. So we would just come over to chat. So we come over and we specify this previous creation. We just pull up that chair. So let's first do this. Let's say I like this image of the chair, but I want to try a different kind of wood. Apply lighter wood material to the chair for me. You don't need to do too much in terms of description in this case. We're going to go to Flux because it was also the original algorithm that generated the chair in the first place. So we'll go ahead and let it generate that for us. Okay, and then there we go. So here's what it looks like with this lighter variation of the wood. So you can very easily test things like this out. So now this is where we could also come in and have this same chat give us a different view. Give me a different view of the chair. Move the view camera so it's looking straight at the front of the chair. Okay, and then we let it process that. And there we go. So now we just take a look at that. So you could have it generate multiple views for you if you wanted to visualize it, for proofing purposes. Do I like the design of the chair? How does it look spatially in different views? Let's do one more thing. Show me another view of the chair, but put a person sitting on the chair. Put a man in casual office attire sitting in the chair. Because it might also be interesting to visualize this chair with the person sitting in it. Now, this is something that might happen. If it does this, you just redirect it to do another generation. Say this image isn't good. The person doesn't look right. Show me another view of the original lighter wood chair with a single man sitting in it. And there we go. So this is what I wanted to show you, is that sometimes with the AI, you have to reprompt it to give you something that will actually work. So just go ahead and reprompt it, and it will also often correct it, giving you the actual view that you want. So let's say that you are designing something like a branded coffee pitcher for a new coffee shop company, and you're wanting to visualize this. So let's come over to Create, and we're going to go to Sketch to Render. Let's say you're a product designer and you've just sketched an idea out and you want to visualize that. So we're going to come over and upload that. And you look at this hand sketch of this picture. And we're going to also assume that you've got a logo that you want to visualize on there. So let's take a look at this from the first place, and then we'll look at it with the logo on it. So we give it a description: a modern coffee pitcher, white porcelain with a cork lid and top metal handle on a white background with studio lighting. The handle gently connects to the body in a flowing manner. And then I've just increased the image strength a little bit so it kind of follows the contour, and then we just generate. And there we go. So there's one take. Let's do another one just to see if it comes up with something even slightly different. It's always good to do a few takes to see which is the one that's closest to your idea. Okay, so there we go. Now let's say that we want to apply a label. We want to see what this is going to look like with our branding on it. So we're going to come over to chat and do that over in the chat area. So over here in chat, we're just going to come in and we're going to select from a previous creation, and we'll just find one of the pictures that you happen to like. Just find the one that is perhaps closest. We'll just use the latest one there. Now what we want to do is upload an image of the coffee label. So we'll come over and bring up the coffee label, which is this right here, Chain Link Coffee Company. And then we just have to give it a prompt. In this case, can you add the attached logo to the side of the coffee pitcher? Medium size, more towards the top. Otherwise, maintain the coffee pitcher design as it is. And I'm going to switch over to Nano Banana because I've found that it does a pretty good job of applying labels to things. And then we just feed it to the system and wait for it to generate for us. And there we go. So we take a look at it, and there it has applied our labeling and branding to the coffee pitcher.